The world's 30 most dangerous destinations for fearless tourists. Fatal attractions. Looking for an adventure with a heightened sense of danger. From vertiginous peaks and perilous pathways to deadly dive sites and boiling hot lakes, some of the world's most captivating attractions and destinations are also the most treacherous. Cape Town, South Africa. South Africa's best-known city, Cape Town, has many attractions that lure in travelers. Flat-topped Table Mountain, beaches with great surf, a bustling harbour and an incredible food scene. However, according to data-gathering platform Statista, in 2023 Cape Town had the 10th highest murder rate per 100,000 people in the world. In August 2023, a British surgeon was shot and killed after his vehicle took a wrong turn near Cape Town International Airport. Darien Gap, Central America. The Darien Gap is an area of dense, mountainous jungle on the Panama-Colombia border. It's both beautiful and biodiverse, with at-risk species such as jaguars and Central American tapirs roaming its rainforests. The near-impassable region also marks the only break in the 19,000-mile Pan-American Highway, which otherwise stretches from Alaska to southern Argentina, and its remote location is a breeding ground for danger. Skeleton Coast, Namibia. Stretching for 310 miles along the shores of northern Namibia, the Skeleton Coast is where the barren sand dunes of the Namib Desert meet the vast Atlantic Ocean. Its otherworldly landscape, littered with the dry bones of dead animals and the rusting hulks of over 500 shipwrecks, is an attractive prospect for adventure travelers and intrepid photographers. But going deep into one of the world's most inhospitable places comes with risks. Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. Though Death Valley takes the title of hottest place on Earth, Ethiopia's Danakil Depression comes pretty close. At 400 feet below sea level, it's one of the lowest places in the world, but its volcanic geology also makes it one of the most volatile. Sulphurous hot springs, simmering fissures, and lava lakes make putting a foot wrong incredibly perilous. Snake Island, Brazil. Standing on Sao Paulo's waterfront, you'll see a small forested island on the horizon, around 21 miles away. Ilha da Queimada Grande might look harmless, but its residents aren't. The island is home to a population of around 3,000 snakes, golden lancehead pit vipers, to be precise. That could mean as many as 5 snakes per square meter lurk in the grass. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Close to Tanzania's border with Kenya is Lake Natron, a highly alkaline lake that sometimes turns a blood-red hue thanks to the algae that live on its surface. High salinity means its waters grow toxic cyanobacteria, so the lake is harmful to most animals except flamingos, which are able to digest the bacteria. This means the birds can thrive without other avian competition. Kagari, also known as Fraser Island, Australia. This UNESCO-listed island in subtropical Queensland is a huge tourist hotspot, renowned for its castaway beaches, rainforests, and huge array of wild animals, including dingoes. However, the dingoes are known to attack humans, and such incidents are on the rise. In 2023, a pack attacked and injured a woman who was jogging on the beach. Death Valley, California, USA. Deadly hot, but drop-dead gorgeous, Death Valley National Park lures visitors with its surreal landscape of undulating sand dunes, rock salt spires, and salt flats. But it's wrought with hazards from extreme heat and flash floods to rattlesnakes, scorpions, black widow spiders, and a chance of stumbling into illegal marijuana cultivation sites. Darvaza gas crater, Turkmenistan. The frisson of fear associated with peering over the edge of a fiery, cavernous pit has made Turkmenistan's Darvaza gas crater another unlikely attraction. Known as the Gates of Hell, the flaming inferno formed in the 70s when Soviet geologists drilled into a cave for oil, causing its natural gas field to collapse. They set it alight to burn off the toxic gas. Decades later, and it's still blazing away beneath the barren landscape of the remote Karakum Desert. Karijini National Park, Australia. A collection of emerald pools, cascading waterfalls and craggy red gorges, Karijini National Park is the Australian outback at its most wild and beautiful. But beware, this remote part of Western Australia is prone to extreme weather conditions, including dangerously high temperatures and flash flooding. The hazardous roads, lure of plunging into the cool deep water and rockfalls, have also led to fatalities. Mount Hoshan, China. A network of trails snake around the mountain, including steep stone steps. But it's the infamous plank path, narrow and rickety planks bolted onto the sheer mountainside around 5,000 feet in the sky, only navigable with a safety harness. That is the most treacherous stretch. Sadly, a university student died after falling from the path, which is bolted onto the eastern side of South Peak in 2019. Skellig Michael Island. Rising out of the thrashing Atlantic waters, Skellig Michael is a craggy isle off the coast of County Kerry that was once the windswept home of hardy monks. Since it was used as a filming location for Star Wars The Force Awakens, the intriguing isle has become even more alluring. It's a tough climb up roughly hewn, steep stone steps to see the ruins of the ancient monastery that perch near the top. Villarrica, Chile. It might look pretty, but beware, the snow-capped peak of Villarrica is one of South America's most active volcanoes. Rising above the lake and town of the same name in southern Chile, it erupted as recently as 2015, spewing ash and lava high into the air and causing a mass evacuation in the area. Increased activity was also seen in early 2023, with steam and volcanic gases spewed into the air. Cliffs of Moher, Ireland. But with great height comes great danger, and the clifftop's dramatic brink has caught explorers off guard before. More than 60 accidental deaths have occurred here since the early 1990s, including a student falling to his death in 2019 after taking selfies near the cliff's edge. Half Dome, California, USA. Looming above Yosemite National Park, Half Dome lures thousands of intrepid hikers every year determined to scale its curved summit. The 14-mile round trip to the top takes walkers into the wilderness and has a reputation for dangerous conditions. A hiker was killed in September 2019 after falling 500 feet while climbing. Rockfalls are also frequent and can be deadly. El Caminito del Rey, Spain. Built between 1901 and 1905 for construction workers carrying goods to the Guadalhorce Dam, this teetering walkway clings to Malaga's El Chorro Gorge. Now nicknamed the Walkway of Death, the sheer thrill factor of navigating the precarious path attracts adrenaline junkies from around the world. The route includes a rickety suspension bridge straddling the gorge, soaring almost 350 feet above the waters of the Guadalhorce River below. Mont Blanc, France, Italy. Mont Blanc is the loftiest peak in Europe, and its snow-cloaked slopes are a mecca for mountaineers. It reaches around 15,780 feet, and some 30,000 people come to tackle the Mont Blanc Massif annually. But despite its majesty, it's regarded as one of the deadliest mountains in Europe. Devil's Pool, Victoria Falls, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Described by the Zambia Tourist Board as the ultimate infinity pool, the ominously named Devil's Pool sits right at the top of the thunderous Victoria Falls, which the Zambezi River flows down. Swimmers take the plunge at their own risk. One wrong move and they could plunge from the precarious rock pool and down a sheer precipice into one of the world's largest waterfalls. Cascade Saddle Route, New Zealand. New Zealand has danger appeal aplenty for adrenaline junkies, but the 11-mile, 2-day Cascade Saddle Route is a true test of stamina. The grueling trek, which crosses from the West Matukituki Valley to the Dart Valley in Otago's Mount Aspiring National Park, rewards hardy hikers with spectacular alpine views. Blue Hole, Egypt. The Blue Hole is a favorite dive site of daredevils looking to test their mettle. North of Dahab in Egypt's Red Sea, the sinkhole drops down to depths of around 300 feet with a notorious horizontal tunnel on its outdoor wall known as the Arch. Anak Krakatau, Indonesia. This volcanic island in Indonesia's Sunda Strait, formed after its namesake volcano, had one of the deadliest eruptions in history. The immense ash clouds and the powerful tsunamis created by the historic explosion of Krakatau in 1883 killed around 36,000 people. The strength of the eruption meant the original volcano largely collapsed, but some decades later a new one was born from the crater. Annapurna 1, Nepal. At 26,545 feet at its highest point, the Annapurna Range has the 10th highest mountain on the planet. It may be overshadowed by its lofty neighbour Everest, but Annapurna 1 is notoriously difficult to climb. In fact, it's ranked as the world's most deadly peak for climbers due to its high fatality rate. Everest, Nepal. Soaring to 29,032 feet, Mount Everest is a global symbol of expedition and adventure. Scaling the world's highest mountain is seen as the ultimate test of endurance by climbers. While it's not statistically the world's most dangerous peak, it is fraught with extreme hazards like avalanches, deadly crevices, ice flows, and debilitating altitude sickness. Since 1922, more than 300 people have perished in an attempt to scale the summit. Reunion. The beaches of this French enclave in the Indian Ocean are exquisite and remarkably crowd-free, especially compared with glitzier neighbour Mauritius. Known for its epic waves and laid-back atmosphere, Reunion is also a surfing mecca for those in the know. Unfortunately, it's also one of the most shark-infested spots in the world. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. Plummeting down one of the world's most dangerous roads on a bike may not be everyone's idea of fun, but North Yungas Road, which winds through the Cordillera Oriental mountain chain just near La Paz, has become one of the world's most thrilling mountain bike rides. There's good reason it's known starkly as Death Road. Boiling Lake, Dominica. The steaming lake is actually a flooded fumarole, a crack in the Earth's crust, and has been known to drain entirely or for its water to suddenly cool. But when it's at its hottest, the murky water spits and bubbles like a cauldron. While it might look enticing, it can spray out scaldingly hot water, so it's best not to get too close. The Canadian Rockies, Canada. From avalanches and rockfalls to potential encounters with mountain lions and grizzly bears, the Canadian Rockies are fraught with danger. Of course, this frisson of jeopardy is one of the reasons why the stunning mountains have become a year-round adventure playground for thrill-seekers. Trolltunga, Norway. This striking and otherworldly rock formation in western Norway has become a magnet for selfie-taking hikers. At around 3,600 feet above sea level, the only way to get onto the precarious ledge, which overhangs Ringadalsvatnet Lake, is via a demanding high mountain terrain hike. It's a round trip of 17 miles from the main trailhead in Skjeggedal, or 12.5 miles from the trailhead at Miguelitop. Yucatan Cenotes, Mexico. Beneath the steamy jungle in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula lie three of the longest underwater cave systems in the world. These largely unmapped flooded cave systems have become a magnet for advanced divers who come to navigate their way between the natural sinkholes known as cenotes, which were considered deeply spiritual places by the ancient Maya. Sadly, some divers have perished in these stunning freshwater pools, including one death in 2022. Fagradalsfjall, Iceland. Seeing the sheer power of Earth up close has lured people to Iceland's Fagradalsfjall volcano, which has erupted multiple times in 2023. Set in an isolated position on the Reykjanes Peninsula, the active volcano poses little threat to people or infrastructure, but it is an electrifying sight. In 2021, the opening of a 1,640-foot-long fissure marked what was the first eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula in over 800